All right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to you brothers out there that's also laboring in his work, continuing to push out this gospel in all diligence, all truth, faith, and sincerity. So yeah, in this lesson, I want to just deal with the condition and the state of the planet Earth and the fact that the reason why the planet Earth is out of course is because the rulers of the earth, all right, which is no doubt the so-called white man. When you read the book of Job, the 9th chapter and the 24th verse, it tells you that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, all right? And by process of elimination, the wicked will be the so-called white man. Why? Because the so-called white man is the one that govern and police the earth, all right? They hit these different countries with sanctions. You know, you got to have certain passports and things to travel, all right? If you want to get ahead in this world, you got to learn this language, the English language. That's why you got these different nations coming over here to the Americas and their institutions, all right, and their universities. Why is that? Because the so-called white man is the one who's governing the earth right now, all right? It's his time to rule. But with that, the earth is suffering because the so-called white man is indeed the wicked, all right? Under this man's watch, you got the ocean polluted, all right, with plastic, which, by the way, is poison, all right? You got the ozone layer jacked up. You got animals, if not all animals, at the brinks of extinction, even domesticated animals, man, because they spay and neuter, you know, dogs and cats. The food you eating, you don't know if it's real. It's not real, all right? GMO foods, the air quality messed up with these chemtrails. You can go on and on, man. Even the morale of this planet, man. You got men walking around transforming into women and vice versa, all right? Your kids disrespectful from watching these TV, you know, watching the media, that wicked vibration that's put out. Your woman is totally out of order because the so-called white man has set the woman up over the man. That's totally against the order of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, all right? But we coming into the times where everything is about to be set in its rightful order, all right? So with that, I'm going to start off in the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay, right? And this is talking about the so-called white man. When he came into power, he turned everything upside down, all right? Some of the things I mentioned, the woman out of order, all right? The woman surpassing the man. Even the so-called white man himself being on top, all right? He was set up to be beneath, all right? He's inferior to the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? Everything is set upside down. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall that thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Right, because that's the so-called white man's approach, all right? The things that the Lord framed, which is the law, all right, that men shall not lay down with men. Well, the so-called white man turn right around and make it a law, all right? Or you can be punished if you speak out against homosexuality, all right? You got this guy like Bruce Jenner, all right? He's celebrated in this country. Well, that's the so-called white man saying to the Most High that he have no understanding, like the scriptures say. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he have no understanding? Right, and that's what the so-called white man in a roundabout way is saying to the Most High. You have no understanding, because here it is. The Lord set everything up in a certain order, and this man came around and turned it upside down, all right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 82, and starting at verse 2. How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Salah. Defend the poor and fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and needy, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked, right? Because the poor and needy is pretty much the Israelites, man. And in particular, the elect, man, those men that sighing and crying for all the abominations that's being done. Well, we at the point where we pretty much begging by our supplications, we begging the Lord and praying that he would rid us out of the hand of the wicked, man. All right, verse 5, they know not, neither would they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. That's right. Everything is out of course on the planet Earth right now, man. And the paper trail goes back to who? The wicked, the so-called white man. All right? This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10. And start at verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of the prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Yeah, so who is the ruler right now? The so-called white man. That's why everybody is in the same manner, or they under the same vibration of the wicked, which is the so-called white man. That's why you got these guys walking around with that homosexual spirit. All right, the men out here is sensitive, very effeminized. All right, the women they're more, they take that manly and masculine approach, which is confusion, man. That's why we know that America is Babylon the Great, because when you go into that word Babylon, in the ancient Hebrew, that word Babylon is Babal, which means what? Confusion, man. So the so-called white man, being a twisted and wicked spirit by nature, all right? Well, the manner of the people is the same way, all right? But we coming in a time, like I said, where the Lord is about to restore the order on the planet, all right? Verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people. That's right. And the king of the earth right now is the so-called white man, starting with the banking families, all right? The Illuminati or whatever you want to call them, all right? The Gettys, the DuPonts, all right? The Morgans, the Fitzgeralds, the Rothschilds. Well, that's the king, that's the unwise king that's destroying his planet, all right? But it say, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited, all right? The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable, right? Which will be Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, leading the charge along with the 144,000, the governing body. That's the next rulers of the planet, which that move alone is going to restore the earth back to its rightful order, all right? Because the earth is sick, and the Lord himself, Yahweh Shai, is going to have to come and restore and bring the earth back to health. Matter of fact, well, it was in the same chapter, stand in Sirach 10, in verse 10, the physician cutteth off a long disease. Yeah, and the physician is who? Yahweh Shai, who you people call Jesus Christ. He's going to cut off that long disease. And what's that long disease? The so-called white man and everything he's perpetuated on the planet. And he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. That's right. So the so-called white man is going to die off. And with that alone, the earth will be healed. All right? Which we're approaching those times. We're coming into the times where the Lord is about to restore order back on this planet. This is 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Yeah, because the new heaven and new earth is not talking about the Lord is going to scrap everything and create everything new. No, heavens represents rulership. So there's going to be a new rulership and a new earth, meaning the earth is going to be refreshed, because when you go into that word for new, it means kainos, which means to refresh, all right? So the earth is going to be refreshed when the new heavens and the new earth appear, man. in these ways here is going to pass away. All right, this rulership, the way things are governed on the earth, everything how you see it, everything operating now in this juncture, in this system, which is set up by the so-called white man, that's going to pass away. All right. Matter of fact, this is Revelation chapter 21, and starting at verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Right. So the first heaven and the first earth, which is what? This first rulership that we in now, the so-called white man ruling, governing the world by way of his wicked laws, man, passing laws where homosexuals have rights. When the scriptures clearly tell you that homosexuals should be put to death, man. All right? Where they promote transgenders, man. You cutting off your rod and you taking estrogen and turning into a woman, all right? And vice versa. These women taking testosterone, boosting up their testosterone so they can become more masculine. That's totally out of order, man. All right? And that's a domino effect. That one thing sets off a sequence of events, and the whole earth is out of whack, man. That's why the earth is not yielding forth her fruit to this devil, man. That's why these devils got to make food out of thin air, man. That's why you eat food that is not really food, all right? Verse 2, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power. Verse 4, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, right? So that this way of life that you live now, all right, you don't know if you're going to see your kids grow up without getting shot in the streets. You know, if you're a young man, you're looking to step down on a woman, you got to seriously consider if it's a man or not. All right, the police shooting you down. Those things is tears, man. All right, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away, right, which is this society, the earth as you know it now, man, this system, all right, being ruled by the wicked. This whole system is going to pass away, thus meaning order is going to be restored back to the planet Earth itself, man. And we waiting on that day, the sincere men of the Lord, all right? Not you wicked 2/3 Israelites, all right? Not you other nations who have grown accustomed to being in this world, all right? If you friends with this world, or if you can coexist in this world, then that means you're not fit for deliverance, man, for salvation, all right? You're going to go right down with this world, because the Lord have written and decreed that this world is going to pass away by fire. Matter of fact, it's that 2 Peter 3. Right. This 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. And again, the heavens is the rulership. This rulership, all right, the earth being ruled and governed by these bankers, where they're going to pass away with a great noise. And what's that great noise? Those nuclear missiles, all right? The elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. See? So the earth and the works, all right, what's some of the works? Again, homosexuality, these transgenders running rampant, all right? The morality all messed up, man. You got women out of order, all right? You got kids out of order, all right? You not knowing what you eat. The water that you drinking is affected, man. The animals being extinct, all right? You got bumblebees being extinct, man, which everything works together in this whole ecosystem, man. If you knock off one species, then it throw everything off balance, all right? Which brings what? Chaos and confusion and disorder. But a part of the Lord coming back, well, the main part is to deliver the elect from this upcoming destruction. But the big picture is to restore order back on the planet Earth. All right? And that can only be done when you take away that disease, which is who? The so-called white man. All right? So yeah, I hope there was an edifying lesson. Until the next time I say shalom.